Welcome back. Last time I did some crafting and some talking. This time I'll do some talking and some mining. I also mentioned last time about how I have an older texture pack, but as I've looked at it, I've realized that a lot of the textures aren't my texture pack at all, which means that I'm going to have to redo that for the modern version if I want to use it. Additionally, I had to remove Optifine in order to get the Fulbright to work, because apparently now you have to do that through something called inventory tweaks. Um, or not inventory tweaks, that's a mod. Vanilla tweaks, which allows me to have a resource pack, which I also added in clear water because I think this just is appealing, and also brighter nether. Again, the reason that I got the Fulbright was for the benefit of the viewer and for myself, but for the viewer. And it is simply because being able to see is appealing. And while I hope with all my heart that you watch me as a second monitor piece of audio, just to throw into the background, um, I am fully aware that some people might actually keep the video of Minecraft on screen. That's why it's there to begin with. This cave looks funky. Does it continue down further on the other side? But so I got the Fulbright. You can probably see it now. Pretty good. Um, Advantages it will give me. While I won't be able to zoom in, I'll actually be able to see ores in the distance, which might give me direction. Um, Additionally, I might see something lurking in the shadows ahead of me. Now, don't worry if you think that's all too powerful, because I bet you anything, it will be what's lurking in the shadows behind me that gets the jump on me, and there will be plenty of opportunities for my ass to be utterly kicked by all sorts of ghouls in the dark. This looks dangerous, precarious perhaps. We'll try this trick, which I was about to say we'll try this trick, which is exactly what you want to do in, when you can't reach your health. Is if we don't take damage in an episode, is it really real? Is it genuine? I'll heal it off. Who needs those 2 hearts? You probably do. I don't. So I'm just gonna be ranting while mindlessly mining. And last time I talked a lot about Minecraft. This time I'm just not. I'm gonna talk about music for a moment. Cause music's cool. If you don't like music, I'm sorry, it is enabled. But a lot of people listen to music. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I was watching a video of a pretty cool guy named Northern Lion. He makes some fun content. And while watching his video, somebody in his chat asked him, well, I was watching a VOD, I think. And somebody in his chat asked him what song was stuck in his head. And he said, unfortunately, Kesha's We Are Who We Are. I want to make something very clear. There are far worse songs that have stuck in your head than a Kesha song. I mean, Kesha's good. It's exactly what you want stuck in you. Oh, that's a baby zombie. Those things are brutal. He's got a fucking sword! Holy shit! The guy's got a dagger! Holy mother of God! That guy's not fucking playing around! He just shanked me in the kneecaps! At first I thought it was a regular sized zombie. Then I realized it was a baby zombie. Then I realized he had a sword. Holy shit. Let's Take this guy out carefully. So dangerous. Who gave this baby a knife? Sorry that my entire thought process was cut off. No, but Kesha's always been stuck in my head. Not to that much of a, not that it's much of a big deal, but like, oh motherfucker. But you know, he was complaining about having a Kesha song. I wouldn't complain about that. It's a good thing to have stuck in your head. As of late, I've had the Lady Gaga song Paparazzi stuck in my head. Listened to that a few times only, but now it's stuck there. Drift away, child. Be gone with you, Hellspawn. I saw more loot this way. So I wanted to get that gold. Things became dire very quickly. A slime? Alright, that makes that a slime chunk then. Pick up some lapis. We don't want to flood our inventory with it, but yeah, there's a creeper. That's terrifying mob. We're not just gonna set up areas though. We're not just gonna cordon ourselves off. We'll just use the cave. I already said that I'm not gonna do too much digging around. Hey, this is a survival world. Slime has its uses. This is a good amount of slime. 13 slime. Nice. I'm not the biggest redstone guy, but you know. Perhaps there's some device even I can build that uses a sticky piston. Those tend to be my style. Back in the day, the sticky piston was the godsend. 1 gold, alright. We need this gold more desperately than usual, so I'm a little concerned by the lack thereof. But you know, it's fine. Because I march to the beat of my own drum. You know what other songs are good? The Persona soundtrack. I was just, you know, on YouTube as one does in their meantime, and I was just, you know, it recommends me instrumental Behind the Mask, and I started listening. It's that nice little tune. You might have even heard it before. Motherfucker. I heard you. Ah, alright, different story. But it's the one that goes ba ba da 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 da. You guys got sniper access. That one, you know. You know the one I'm talking about, or maybe you don't. No. Alright. Now I'll tell the story about skeletons, because this guy's on my mind. That better not have been a second one. Oh, and I'm just inviting the opportunity for things to spawn behind me. But it's a good song. Skeleton Story. So, for those of you who have played in the olden days, like I have, then you would have been around for when they added horses to Minecraft. In 1.6, I believe. And the reason I remember the version that horses came out is because it was also around the same time that there was a fun quote from one of Minecraft's developers known as Dinnerbone. Dinnerbone you guys might know of, even if you don't know Minecraft that well, if you know Minecraft but you don't know its developers, you might know him because his name, if you name a creature, it turns him upside down. And just in case you're curious, Dinnerbone has played Minecraft and demonstrated it. That yes, naming the names of the developers, Dinnerbone and Grum, the people who's, if you name a creature that, and it if you name a creature that it goes upside down, we're just gonna dig it my way up. We'll find a different cave that isn't a chasm of death. Well, a different chasm of death. But if you name a creature, Dinnerbone or Grum, you get an upside down creature. I hear lava pops. I hope I'm not getting right up into that. And they are actually affected by that. They can apparently turn it on or off, but it's just kind of funny that they implemented that system where they themselves get flipped upside down. And it was really funny to see because they were in a. I actually saw that in a Minecraft UHC way back in the day. But Dinnerbone, one of the developers, essentially made a comment, something along the lines of skeletons are just cupids trying to shoot you with their love arrows. And that was his justification for making skeleton accuracy better, making skeletons far more accurate. And it was, I mean, it was really funny because here was the trade off that you were given. If you wanted to update, because you needed a new launcher to play beforehand. Essentially, it was on a. You play the beta version, but you needed to get the new launcher. I'm not sure if everybody had to migrate to the new launcher. I think that's when Minecraft first got its cool, fun new launcher that it still uses to this day. I think. Don't quote me on that. But the main advertisements were horses and skeletons are more deadly. But horses, zombies have a higher aggro radius. Those guys are already spawned in. I do not want to play games with those guys. I need gold. I need a good, nice, easy cave. But first I'm going to cook up some iron and build myself the rest of my suit of armor. Because getting shanked in the kneecaps by a baby was not ideal. The blast furnace will cook at twice the rate, which will be nice. Okay, that's just the sound of the blast furnace. But it was a trade-off. If you wanted horses, which, I mean, who didn't want horses at the time? You needed to essentially sacrifice. You needed to give in to better, more accurate skeletons. And I think everybody really did. Maybe it was going from 1.6 to 1.7. Whenever horses were added, skeletons became far more accurate. Now with the addition of the shield, you can completely mitigate a skeleton. Skeletons are no longer nearly as threatening as they used to be. But there was a long period of times where skeletons were the deadliest mob in Minecraft, even more so than the creeper, than the enderman, because creepers still are extremely deadly. But people have more or less learned the tricks to dealing with them, and they're not, too tricky. Creepers act in a very precise way. Skeletons nowadays can shoot through themselves at you. They can do a lot of things that they just weren't able to do before. There we go, full suit of iron armor. Not enough for a sword, but we're going to value the not dying to a single strike of a zombie. That's not really a big cave. But it was fun. All right, when Minecraft got its first difficulty spike, because I had gotten used to parts of the game, because I had been playing it. And then all of a sudden the game became harder. And I mean, that can be fun. Nowadays, the power balance of mobs have changed. Zombies have a chance, upon taking damage at night, to spawn another zombie in the region. Zombies have the highest aggro range of any of the vanilla mobs. They're just any of the vanilla hostile mobs. Things obviously change for conditional mobs like zombie pigmen. I believe share the zombies' high aggro range. While like endermen, if you can look them in the eyes, they can aggro. But of just the default mobs, zombies aggro from further. Zombies have the chance to let you on fire when they hit you. That was added in later. And I've got husks and strays, these new types that inflict status effects. Husks, I believe, being the desert zombies that can inflict you with hunger, which is actually very detrimental in a regular game mode because hunger is devastating. Well, I mean, we need to go caving. The safest way to mine is to strip mine because you reduce the amount of open blocks for mobs to spawn while revealing a safe amount of blocks for gathering resources. Now, caving is technically the fastest way to gather resources. This is one of these beautiful lush caves, and look at all the mobs that have already spawned at the bottom. And the zombies have aggroed, but the other mobs haven't. Exact demonstration of the point I was just making. Let's hope that we can gather some resources without getting beaten up. I don't know how rare these are. I think they're not too common, so it's cool that I found one. Can I get that? I can. That was intelligent of me. Let's see if we can sneak through these smaller, narrower corridors. Might have to dig myself into a wall. Spider. Spiders are fun because they can aggro through walls. That's always been true, and they're fatter. But the fun thing about it, and they can climb walls. Those are the fun things about spiders. The way they added a new change to spiders is that they made it so that spiders can spawn with potion effects. And if they spawned with specifically positive ones, and if they spawn with invisibility, you can see their eyes. And as time went on, you know, they added the Wither. The Wither wasn't always in the game. The first boss was the Ender Dragon. We want to keep small pillars in the way of spiders. That's how you deal with them effectively. They can hit you through this little corner right here. Creepers haven't changed much at all. If you cut off line of sight, they'll stop their ignition. The shield also can block explosives to a fairly good extent. Skeleton needs time to rearm itself so you can turn and get some distance between its shots. I couldn't even see him for that shot. Unfortunately, if it hits itself, it gets iframes. Iframes, of course, standing for infinity, or infinity frames. It gets invincibility frames, which makes it hard to hit with the rebound. You got some obsidian down there. It's the most unfortunate part. I lost my obsidian texture. I'm going to have to make a new texture pack. And by new, I mean I'm going to have to download Faithful Texture Pack and edit some of the textures to the way I want them to be. Which, I mean, I'll just be able to grab the art assets. Changing your own texture pack isn't actually that difficult. Lava's nice for when you're doing this kind of thing because it provides light, which prevents mobs from spawning. I like to do this. There's nothing down here, unfortunately. It is dangerous to walk on the corners of blocks like that because occasionally you will get an instance of damage where you somehow trigger the lava tick. Generally, it will only do like a single fire tick to you and nothing more. But at the HP I'm rocking, let's avoid even the slightest of damage ticks. Sneak in right here, see what's going on in this lit up area, lit up by the lava. Lit, as it were. Let's see what's going on through here. Gold? How about some gold? I'm not sure how ore spawns have changed over time. Because I know with the caves update, they've changed a lot of stuff. Because now I believe my Z value is actually in the negatives. Yeah, negative 15. Used to be like why 22 for gold, why 13 started spawning diamonds. All right, that's 7. Oh, but I have 1 ingot. All right. Now, I desperately need this, so we're going to cook this up. We're going to eat the apple instantly because I mean, I could risk it, but for what reason? For what purpose? This gold is very nice, though. Gold does appear to be more scarce than I remember, though. Because back in the day, you used to just get tons of gold, and it was more of a flashy thing. Gold armor wasn't good. The helmet is, of course, equal in protective value to the iron helmet, but the durability is so bad. Golden tools were the equivalent of stone. And, I mean, weren't good. Now golden apples have a use in PvP. But in regular survival, I mean, you can munch on them while fighting bosses like the Wither and the Ender Dragon, because absorption's still a good effect. But it's not as useful as it used to be. Alright, let's get some adventuring done in these caves while I have the absorption arts, because they are temporary. Only the Daedric Princes are forever. Up there, what is our chance of getting gold? I don't know. This area probably still sucks, but I'm going to go anyways. Other things that they've changed over time. Swim speeds. You can now sprint in the water, underwater, to get that faster speed. Enchantments like Depth Striders came out. And Frostwalker, which is wild. I remember that used to be like a fun class thing that used to exist in minigame servers. Annihilations, Frostwalkers, for instance. Oh, right, that was my water. It being nighttime is actually highly beneficial, because now mobs can spawn on the surface. There's an Enderman up there. Let's not look at him. There he is up there in case you missed him. Skeleton zombie. You can tell because it actually started to fire. Hey, there's an axolotl up there. Alright, the strategy here is going to be simple. The zombie's aggroed and the skeleton's firing. Oh, fuck. There we go. Simple strategy. Let the zombie do some of the fighting for you. This creeper has the high ground. And creepers love to drop bomb. It's a classic strategy. The most that they've done to creepers is better their movement AI. And maybe give them an animation to their blowing up that's a little more obvious. But creepers have remained generally the same. And because of that, their AI has pretty much been learned. Supercharged creepers are still able to just devastate, but that's sort of the point. They're also extraordinarily rare. If you're not trying to make a supercharged creeper, they generally don't appear. And even to make one requires a fairly strict amount of effort. But to the extent of these guys underground, they're pretty easy just to deal with. You see them, you break line of sight when you can, blow them up if you need to. Use your shield. Shield's at half durability. I mean, it's a crutch, but the game is now balanced around the shield. This game has become more difficult. Despite the addition of the shield, and the fact that like netherite exists now, even though all of the large entities, well, no, because now there's the Warden. I'm going to say all the large entities were invented, brought into this game before netherite armor, but I'm pretty sure the Warden, because I've played with a little bit of netherite, I've never played with the Warden, is new, so he probably is balanced around netherite. Though The Wither has always been very devastating, simply because the Wither effect, its explosive moves, it's highly mobile. There's a lot of reasons that it's an extremely dangerous creature. And so, I mean, the weakest is the Elder Guardian. There are 3 of them. They cause mining fatigue, but they're more so an inconvenience. The entire thing is that they have tons of hazards around them, the regular Guardians. And when I fight them, which I will fight them, I'll show you my cheese method that I use to take them out. A big thing to note is that they're also one of those creatures that you can sort of abuse their AI once you know it. This is probably that river that we were in earlier. Yeah, well, sort of. It is the river, but not the same point. We need to find a place to sleep. Maybe back in the cave where we came from? We'll just plop down our bed, take a nice snooze. Gained a little bit of health back. Middling amount. So, you know, perhaps we're going to do some surface exploring this time. One time I was playing UHC and I had a really fun game. I hadn't gone mining once and I had some diamond gear. And I had some golden apples and I had done the entire thing by just looting the surface. And I was running around on a horse with diamond horse armor, with some diamonds, some enchants from only anviled books, so they weren't that fantastic, but even still. Or maybe I had gotten an enchantment table from just obsidian and diamond. Don't remember the specifics, but I had pretty good setup. And I was so excited to fight somebody. I ran around that entire map. And I didn't see a single person the entire match. I won the game without fighting a single person. I was stacked without having ever gone underground, and everybody died to either each other or to natural causes. And I was disappointed because I was ready to fight. I mean, you'd play one of those games, it'd take like 10 minutes to get one of those games together because the servers are somewhat populated. Somebody always had to be the first to click on the sign. Nobody ever wanted to join his empty lobby. So I would often just be the one to be the first player in the lobby. Then other people would join because they were trying to fill it. This was a solo game. There are duo games, and duo games tend to fill up a little faster. But, you know, when you play one of those games, you wait all that time, you prep, you go out, and you want to fight. So it's disappointing when nobody else wants to fight you back. I'm going to just try exploring in a random direction this time because, I mean, I know how to loot a structure. Perhaps I'll get lucky, find a desert temple. Desert temple equals dynamite. I'm sure there's also good loot in there, but explosives are funny. They're also so useful in a survival single player. Ooh, a glacier. Some of the biomes they added in these more recent updates are truly just like fantastic. There being polar bears out there and everything. I'm still just a sucker for some of these old biomes. Like I enjoy the spruce wood. It's probably my favorite of the base woods, but dark oak definitely has its place. I'm not exactly sure what the orange planks from acacia accomplish. I'm sure there's people who build with them, much more talented builders than I. I like the logs. The gray logs can accent some stuff pretty nicely because it's a different look of gray, but I tend to be a regular spruce enjoyer. Dark oak's pretty cool too. It's a little, I don't know, it's a little too much, I guess, to go through. I mean, we got some bones. There we go. How about you? There we go. Alright. Let's increase the pack size. Sorry about you up there. I'm out of bones. These guys are amazing. They'll scare off skeletons for us. It'll be very nice. Because skeletons, while not the most problematic creature we can be up against, problematic nonetheless. So these guys might lunge at things like creepers. Perhaps we can get a bow before having to deal with our next creeper if we stay to the surface. Might want to peek our head into things like caves that we see in order to see if we can find a quick spider. Abandoned mine shafts would be an easy way to do it all, but I'm sure any of you who know how abandoned mine shafts work, they come with a fun, unique mob that only spawns from the spawners within an abandoned mine shaft. And those guys apply poison. Poison, I mean, it can't kill you. So look on the bright side. You will not die to poison. Is this spawn? Nope, I would have remembered that. Poison cannot kill. And these cave spiders, dangerous things. Apply poison. What's dangerous about poison isn't the fact that it's not lethal, but it's damage. Because once you get hit, you'll be ticking down for a while. But there's one creature that applies a poison far worse than that of the cave spider, and that's the witch. The witch can spawn in any biome. It's a terrifying creature. Now, witches do have an advantage if I can find one and pull it off. But apparently, I've done it before. I'm saying apparently because I don't know the exact rules. They can drop health potions if they are drinking a health potion and you kill them during that time, they have a chance to drop it. And the reason that is good in this is because, well, hey, healing. So if I could do it with a bow, maybe, because they do have an animation when they have a potion in their hand. And they can either drink a health potion, healing, I was going to say, not health, don't worry. I'm doing perfectly fine with my English, my verbiage. But they can also throw two different types of potions. Splash Harming, which hurt regardless of the armor you're wearing. They do a lot of damage. What is this? It's a different type of stone. This is a beautiful little bit of generation right here. And the most deadly potion they can throw is a poison potion, because those poison potions last a long time. And that's problematic because while the cave spider poison... I thought I was already looking at the water. That's unfortunate. Who needs that heart? You only need one to live anyways. You only need a half heart to live anyways. That's what the poison effect doesn't matter. I'm just prepping myself. No, actually, apparently the witches can detect how much health you have, and they only use potions if they'd be effective. So, if you would, if you're at a certain amount of HP, like I am right now, they're not going to bother throwing a poison potion. I think they just throw harming and slowness. Slowness isn't too bad, except for the fact that it makes it harder to dodge the poison potion. But their poison potions last a significant amount of time. Generally, it was a game ender in UHC. If you got hit by a witch, is even if you didn't get direct impacted, like a small sliver on the outside blocks, you'd still end up taking a boatload. They're talking like 7 hearts. And when that's 3.5 golden apples to heal, I mean, it can be brutal. Now, I'm clearly playing very fast and loose. I'll probably want to chop down some more trees of the oak variety. I feel like they made it so you could get apples regardless of what tree you cut down. But I don't believe that, because I'm telling myself that I think they probably would have. And I feel like I heard it before. That now, any dude, don't hurt yourself, dogs. Slow and steady. They can heal from me. I can only heal from very special fruits. My panaceas. Well, I guess the tears of the old ones will also work to sustain my hearts. Yeah, we're going to go up to this forest. We're going to clear cut a little bit. This was definitely the mining episode I promised. Hey, adventuring's just safer. The surface, it hurts, but not that badly. But we're just going to chop down some trees, get ourselves some more apples, because I do have 5 apples, which theoretically are enough apples. But, you know, that one baby zombie really just wanted to give me a proper greeting. And this isn't your granddad's Minecraft. That one's called Mine Camp. This is UHC. You think you're just gonna waltz into these caves? You should have gone strip mining. You just shanked me. I'm gonna bet this wood it will prevent the leaves I want to deteriorate from deteriorating. Apparently you can also break leaves, and breaking leaves is fine for the odds on getting apples. We're just going to turn all of these birch into sticks because you need a lot of sticks in Minecraft. It actually used to be an old UHC tactic that you would just convert all your wood early into crafting tables and sticks. Because the only other thing you would need is boats. So you might also craft a couple boats, I guess. But you've mainly crafted just sticks and crafting tables because almost everything you do on land will be related to. I hope it's not a thunderstorm. Well, actually, you can sleep off thunderstorms, so I don't care if it's a thunderstorm. Rain is normally devastating because it ruins bitrate, and it prevents mobs from burning, skeletons and zombies to be specific. It also prevents you from burning. You benefit. Thankfully, mobs don't spawn during regular rain. They can spawn during thunderstorms, but you can sleep through those, so it's not a real problem. And we'll replant. Keep hearing the dogs shaking off the water. See, Minecraft Steve, real adventure. Doesn't care about rain, doesn't care about any of that stuff. He's just out here chopping trees, doing all sorts of stuff. Minecraft Steve was added to Smash Brothers, the funniest thing you've ever seen. I think when I was making my guesses for who they were going to add to Smash, I added that as like a joke guess, and it actually happened, which was, I mean, it's always going to be funny when something you'd say as a joke happens. It's kind of just like comedy mimicking, or reality mimicking fantasy, which is always fun. And it happens a lot, really, because most fiction is based, at least partially, on fantasy. I think I've been going for a good amount of time, so I chop down these trees and we sit with the dogs in the rain, and I got shanked by the Brit in the caves, and we'll end it there.